Okay, I'm gonna change my oil in the Trike today. And you can see it's easy to change your oil in a Goldwing. A lot more involved with the Trike. The floorboards are what gives you a fit. So I have to drive my Trike up on 3 rhino ramps, and that's the only way I can get underneath and actually change my oil. So I'm gonna show you how I did that today, and I'm also gonna jack up the back end a little bit more, and I'm gonna pull that right side cover off, and I'm gonna show you how to grease the drive shafts. There's a front and a rear U-joint on the drive shaft, and I grease those every oil change. So I'm not quite at 4,000 miles, but I'm gonna change it anyway just because I took it on our trip this year. Anyway, I'll get started. Bye. One other thing I have to do, the ramp is gets in the way when I want to drain the oil, so I gotta actually kick this thing around so I can get my let me grab it and move it so I can get my oil pan underneath it. So I just kind of turn the wheel. There we go. And that spins that around. So it's a 17 millimeter. Oops, I got to get my drain pan. Hold on a second. Here we go. I grabbed a light too. It's a 17 millimeter socket. So, wrong way, dummy. There we go. Don't have to get that pan under it just yet because I got to get it started first. Then I'll put the pan. It still might be in the way a little bit because I know that it runs out of there. Here we go. Oh, I should have put my little gloves on so I don't get my hands all greasy, but oh well. I didn't warm the motor up first. I know you're supposed to, but let's see, there we go. Dirty oil. It's got, well, not real dirty. It's got not quite 4,000 miles on it. But anyway, I'll let that drain, and I'll come back and take the filter off. And you can see it's kind of a pain to get underneath here just because of the Trike and the floorboards. Anyway, I'll come back a little bit later. Bye. Yeah, you have to excuse my entirely messy garage. But what I did, I ordered a whole bunch of these filters online. I think you get 5 for like $34. They're OEM Honda filters. So you can see the Honda on there. They're OEM Honda filters. So I can order online. I get 5 of them for about 34 bucks. And I ordered a whole big bag of crush washers a while ago, and I really don't use them. I mean, the crush washers don't go bad that very. I mean, if they go bad, I got a lot of new ones. But I got one other filter over here because I had, excuse my messy garage, but I had they come sealed up. You want the ones that are sealed up, and so they work really good. Anyway, I'll take the filter out in a bit. And another thing I got to do because of the brace work to hold those floorboards on, when I take the filter out, it runs down those braces and drips all over the floor. So I'll show you what I do for that. I'll be back a little bit. Bye. I don't know if you can see this, but here's the braces for the floorboards, because this is their weight. You can actually stand on these floorboards. But when you take that filter off, it's right, see, right there is the filter. When you take that off, it actually runs down here and then drips on the floor. So I actually take paper towels and kind of wrap it around that, and hopefully that'll stop it and catch it right there before it drips all over down here and on my floor. Anyway, it's still dripping. You can see it's still dripping. So you know what I'm going to do is, to help that drip, I'm going to pull the dipstick out. So I'll go do that now. Hold on. Here we go. just usually grab underneath here and pop that out, and then I'll just take the dipstick out, and hopefully that'll help it drain just a little bit. I got B underneath there. There, that should help it drain just a little bit. I don't have a whole lot of room in there. I had to clean out this just for my stuff. We got a lot. You can see a lot of Amazon Prime stuff I order. All kinds of goodies from Amazon Prime. So I don't know if that helped her. I'm gonna let that drip for a little while because I didn't warm it up, so I'll let it drip for a little while before I take that filter off. Okay, what I use to take the filter off is a filter wrench. It's perfect. It fits right around there. It doesn't strip. You don't have to grab it with a pair of vice grips or a kind of a funky you know, filter wrench. It fits right on it and takes it out just like a socket. So I'll go ahead and do that and see if I can get underneath there to show you how it works. But there's the filter up here, right there. I hope you can see it. But I just slide the, let's see, I just slide this, and there's a cable there in the way that's for the, I think it's to release the, open this vent right here for your feet. So I'll just put this on there. Yeah, I should have put it on first, I guess. Because I snug it up a little bit. I don't leave it loose like, you know, hand tighten or finger tighted. I just don't think it's quite enough. You know, I guess I should have put that on first. Anyway, I'll get that on there first. Well, I can't show you that cable, but there is a cable kind of gets in the way here. There we go. There, I'm just loosening it up only a little bit. That way I can pull this thing back off and then loosen it up the rest of the way by hand. There we go. You probably can't see when I'm there. See the oil coming out now from the filter. And you'll see it kind of trying to drip down that frame. Filter's a little bit difficult to get on with that stupid cable up there, and the floorboards are kind of in the way, so you got very little room. There we go. You got very little room to get that out, and I'll let that drip. And what I'll do too is around the motor where the filter came off, I always wipe that off with a paper towel just to get any maybe, you know, residue or grease off there, because you want a good rubber seal. So I'll always clean that off. I learned that many years, even in high school, with the you know, changing car oil. So I clean around that where that ring goes for the rubber ring, and that make sure it gets a good seal. Anyway, I'll turn it back on a little bit. Bye. Okay, what I did is I put a little oil in here and just kind of soaked it up. I'll get out of the way. And just to kind of prime it a little bit. And I always do, yep, there we go. Always do, where's my lid? Wet that O-ring with some oil too, because you want that, you want a good seal on there. So I primed that filter a little bit. I don't know if it's necessary, but can't hurt to, when you first start it up, at least there's oil in the filter before the engine kind of pushes it through there. So it kind of soaked it up into the paper already, but I guess that's good enough. So I'm going to put this, I don't know if I can show you. I want to do this. Oh, that little doohickey's in the way again. I got to push that off to the side, that little cable. That's always a pain. And getting this thing started is kind of a pain sometimes. We got to push that thing aside. Sometimes getting this thing started can be a pain, or take a few minutes. There we go. I think well, maybe not. Nope. Well, where's my remote? I'll get it started. Sometimes it takes me a little while. There we go. Okay, I got it started. So that stupid cable is in the way for that a foot vent to heat your feet up. It's always in the way, so I got to pull it aside with my finger just so I can get this thing in. Now what I'm going to do is put that wrench back on, and because I can't snug it with my finger, so I'm going to put this back on, and I'm going to snug it up. Not tight, I'm just going to get it enough that I'm not going to get a leak. And it doesn't look, it looks like I might be doing tight, but I'm not. So that's good enough. So there. Filter's on. Now I'm going to put the, I'm going to clean around that little plug too. Just to get a good seal with my crush washer. I don't really change the crush washers a lot. I mean, I don't think you need to. I mean, it's still fine. Put that back in, and I don't really torque it just because you can't, it's hard to get a torque wrench underneath there. So I'll just snug it up by hand or with the wrench. And okay, now I can get that out of the way. And here's my, let's take that off, put my socket back on there. Yep. Get it hand tight. Snug it in a little bit with my finger first. And just kind of, I don't torque it just because a torque wrench won't fit in there. So I snug it pretty good. And that's it. Now I'm going to put oil in it, fill it up. I'll take this off because it's done dripping. I'm going to clean off around here a little bit. Get a little road grime underneath there. And we're done. Now I just got to put oil in it, and I'll go do that in a second. Hopefully you can see all that because I couldn't, hard to get underneath there with my head. I got the headband on. Anyway, bye. Be back and put the oil in. Okay, I really struggle for room in my garage. I got a paper towel. So I'm a little cramped for room, but I just put my little filter in there like that, and I use a Rotella T6. I use this all the time. This is a fantastic full synthetic Rotella T6, and it's perfect for the Goldwings. If you look at these labels here, and hopefully you can see this, if you look at these labels, as long as there's nothing underneath here, then there's no additives. So the top can be okay because it just tells you API service, but as long as there's nothing under here, there's no funky additives, and this works perfect for the wet clutch. So we're going to dump this in. I always do it at an angle so it don't plop, plop, plop. And I already filled the filter up just a little bit. And this Rotella T6 is actually 4 quarts, so it's perfect for the Goldwing. You could just dump the whole thing in. If you use like Mobile 1, it's actually 6 quarts, or 6 quarts in a thing. So you got to be careful. Don't use it all. But Rotella T6, you can dump the whole thing in because it's a perfect amount when you change the filter. So I guess this is boring. I'll turn that off for now, and I'll fill this thing up. Okay, dump the oil in. I'm gonna start it up. I got the clutch in. I got it in gear so it won't roll off. There, see, you notice the oil light never came on because I actually primed the filter so that the oil light never did come on. So now I let the oil get kind of mixed in there, and my door's open, but that's it. So now I'll go back over there and check the oil. I know it's good because I used the actual right amount. So sorry, there's no stinking room in my garage. I got all my tools and stuff over here, and it kind of takes up the room. It should be perfect. It should be right at that midpoint. I'll just drop it in without screwing it in. You're supposed to do it that way. And it looks perfect. So that's all you need is Rotella T6. And it comes in a 4-quart bottle, so it's perfect for the Goldwing. And I'll put my little cover back on. It's pretty easy. Just slide it in here first. And that's it. Oil's changed. Now I'm going to jack up the back of the bike a little bit more because I need to be able to spin the wheels. Oh, wait. I need to do this here. But I still need to be able to spin the wheels. Because I need to... see that green? That's the drive shaft right there. So there's a grease zert that I need to get at, and I need to be able to spin the back wheel to get that grease zert where I can grease it in. It looks pretty greasy already, so I greased it before my trip, but I'll show you in a minute how to do that. I'm going to jack up the back end a little bit more. What I do with my oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. I'm going to open up the garage door. Really nice jack. It actually fits under the... It's like only, I guess less than 3 inches that it can slide underneath pretty much anything. So what I do is go underneath here, and I hit the frame of the trike conversion. I can actually get underneath and just hit the frame. And go underneath a little bit more, just to... It's already up high, so I want to get the wheels off the ground to where I can spin them. There we go. And I'll show you. Oh, let me get my grease gun. I got a little small one that works perfect. Where to go? Yep. Okay, I got a little small grease gun that works pretty good. Let me see if you can see this. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I gotta spin the back wheel. Oh, actually I gotta put it in neutral too. That's the only way I can get at. So let me find neutral and I'll spin that back wheel. Okay, found neutral. Hopefully you can see this. I don't know if I can, well, that might be okay. But I'll find there's the zert. See the grease zert? So I gotta get it at that angle. So I can just put my grease gun right on there. Give it a few squirts. I always probably give it too much. That's probably why there's a little grease. So I always grease that one. That's the green one. So that's the a little bit better one. Let me get that grease off there. I might have missed it. I may not have had it on. Let's see if I actually get it on. There we go. There, I had it on. I may not have had it on, but that is where you grease the front one. And I got it up in the air. So that's what you want to do, is you want to grease those U-joints. And I got it up in the air. I'll get underneath it and I'll find the back one and I'll show you that one. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but there's the back one. I'm pretty much at the right angle now to get to it. So I want to grease that one as well. I don't know if I can do it with the holding the light. Let me put the light down. I don't know if I can stick it in there. Kind of hold it up. Oh well. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, might have to spin it just a little bit to get it. There we go. That's better. And you can see the grease around it. I've already been greasing it. So let's see if I can... Hold on a second. There we go. You gotta get the pin on there. So 1, 2, 3. I'll give it just 5 squirts, and that ought to be enough. And that's it. You grease this U-joint, and you grease the one up front, and that's all you gotta do. Kind of a pain to get underneath here, but I gotta make sure I put my bike in gear first before I want to put these all the way back down so they sit flat. So anyway, that's it. Now I'm gonna put the bike back in gear so it doesn't roll once I get it down. And I'm going to move these all the way to the edge of the wheel. Bye. Okay, last thing I got to do is spin this thing back around, which not always that difficult or that easy. Yep, got the wrong shoes on, because when I drive it back down, I want the wheel to go down. So that's it. Now I'll just ride it up. Just drive this thing back down. Hopefully it won't catch the floorboards. Bye.